Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first of our E3 specials of the Sixth Axis podcast. As per usual, I'm your host, Kris Lipscomb. Joining me for the Microsoft special, rounding up the Microsoft press conference, is the editor-in-chief of TheSixthAxis.com, Tef. Say hello, Tef.
Hello.
And also one of the mighty news editors, Aran. Say hello, Aran.
Hello.
We have all three of us just watched the Microsoft conference. Quick overview.
I was watching something Chelsea. Oh, I don't even know the name of the TV show.
Do you mean Made in Chelsea?
That's the one. Yeah, I was watching Made in Chelsea.
Anyway, we've all just actually watched it. Quickly, what did we think? Good, bad?
It was right.
Good. Yeah, good.
Oh, Jesus. If this is the enthusiasm level in like the first one, come on, guys, we've got to stay hyped. I'm all about the hype today.
Awesome.
Get hyped.
No, it was actually a very good show.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought it was very concise. That was the main thing.
Yeah, they didn't talk about TV.
And they didn't. But also, like, there weren't long bits in between games, which we're probably going to get at Sony.
Yeah, there was no filler.
Yeah. Even the bit where Phil Spencer came out, which you normally expect to be a bit of filler, was just Phil Spencer going, "Nah, mate, look, fucking new controller in it, done. Backwards compatibility, done." That's the big news, right? I think that's probably the biggest bit of news out of this press conference. As of, they said, holiday 2015, Xbox One will support backwards compatibility for Xbox 360 games. You will not have to buy games you already own, which was a huge dig at PS Now.
Yes.
So there's a caveat to this.
They've got 100, right? Is that what you're going to say?
100 to start with.
100 to start
they've
with.
got 18 on a backwards compatibility list right now.
Yep.
Yeah, but they
I
said
expect that to.
But they did say when it launches, it's going to have 100.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
but at the moment they've got.
That's just because it's in like preview.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but they said when it launches, they will have 100 at like open launch, not for the preview program. Which I think 100 at launch is respectable. Like if they get as long as it's not like the original Xbox One, where the 100 was like Barbie Pony Adventures or something. Like it's.
Oh, I've got that game. It was really good.
But as long as it's all like, if it is the big hitters, if they're like, okay, cool, here we've got the Halo games, we've got like Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo ODST, etc. If they've got all of those, if they've got the Gears of War titles, if they've got the Fable games, if they've got all of those big games in there, no one's really going to be bothered too much about like other shit.
Yeah, nobody cares about FIFA 10, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Play that.
Yeah, so like this piddly tiny list of 18 games doesn't have the 2 Rainbow Six Siege games on it, or Vegas or whatever the hell they were called.
But they
will be.
But they will be there. So yeah,
Ubisoft
I mean, obviously this list is nowhere near complete, basically.
But I thought that was really smart. So when Ubisoft came out to talk about Siege, when it was what was his name? The president of Ubisoft was, I've got it written down somewhere. Laurent Decotte, with Ubisoft only accepting we will hire ridiculously French people, which seems to be their hiring policy.
Like Montreal is
I know
in
a
Quebec,
major heartland of French Canada.
No, for sure. But they only.
I was going to say French Canadian.
But the only people who seem to make it into senior positions there are people who have very strong French accents. No one else does.
Just got to stick together, haven't they?
I suppose so. Yeah. But anyway, he came out. He talked about the Division quickly. Talked about Siege a bit, and then said, and also if you buy Siege, you are going to get Rainbow Six Vegas and Rainbow Six Vegas 2 for free. I think it would be really cool if we saw other developers doing this as well with the new backwards compatibility program. I thought that'd be awesome.
It makes sense. I mean, it's a mixture of those games now being free money whenever anybody buys a copy of it, but it's also something incredibly easy to give away.
Yeah,
and you constantly see these games popping up in Games for Gold and
exactly.
And
so
PlayStation
why not?
Plus anyway. So
why not?
Yeah.
Right, other stuff. We'll stick on with the kind of system stuff for the minute. The Xbox One Elite controller, which is although they've like announced a new controller like 2 weeks ago, it's got the 3.5mm jack on it.
Yeah, I mean that's just a very minor revision to it, so it's just like a tiny change.
But this is everything.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. Like, it's basically a fully moddable controller. Like you have the shell.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have the shell, and then you can have triggers underneath the hand grips for your middle and ring fingers, if you want those, which is cool. And I know that's something which was made popular by some like crazy trigger system for a controller, so you could play like really twitchy Call of Duty and have really twitchy controller for that, so you can basically just kill everything in your path.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. But also like customizable D-pads,
Like the
thumbsticks. Yeah, I think even the face buttons.
Basically, third-party controller makers are fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. It is kind of all the stuff you would normally see on third-party controllers, which I thought that was cool. It seems to be also a big I guess acceptance that esports are becoming a thing, right? Like, hey, here's the pro level control of all this extra shit that you can do that we knew you were doing anyway, so we might as well have your money.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, third-party controllers haven't really been in the picture since the start of last generation, because you have to plug them in, or you have to have a little wireless dongle. And so, like, as soon as Microsoft decide, nope, we want to have a slightly different 2.4 gigahertz wireless protocol, nothing is going to work anyway. So it's just like, yeah. But basically, they can cater to that market much better than,
absolutely,
than anyone else.
And there's also the other bit on the system side of things. We had HoloLens, which looked fucking incredible.
It did look very good. It was a very good demo.
A Minecraft demo where they had where the cameras set up so you could see what the guy was seeing on HoloLens, which was genius, actually. It worked really effectively.
I was slightly disappointed that the way that they had the camera set up, it just looked like a normal camera. It didn't look like they had like ripped apart a HoloLens and just waved it in front. That would have been much more amusing.
But this was definitely like 100 times better than any demo that anyone ever tried to do of like the Oculus. Like every time someone tries to demo the Oculus, it just doesn't work. Whereas this, actually, it really got across the point very well.
Yeah, I think that there was the unfortunate moment where, like, for the stream anyway, like anybody in the actual audience close enough could see that there was just a guy just stood there, just like prodding at a table or moving his arms around, looking like a complete mope. Yeah. And there was that awkward moment where I think his name was Zach or something, and the woman presenting from Mojang, whichever way you want.
Apparently, it's Mojang.
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
I guess it's like Kudo was there. Kudo was there without weird glasses this time, but he was there to be like, "Yeah, I'm in charge of Mojang now. Cool."
But yeah, there was that awkward moment where she just went, and just look at him. He's just stood there. You can't see what he's doing, but it's really cool, and he just looked like a complete idiot. Basically, it's just funny.
It actually was just a really well worked demo, and it worked. Like there was no glitches in it. It worked perfectly, and that's what they want. Like it was pretty much flawless.
Yeah, I think what they realized is that HoloLens, you can quite easily demo it by like showing what is being added to the environment on camera.
Whereas you can't do that with VR.
No, with VR, it's impossible to show you just how you are immersed in this world. Like you can already figure out. And there's apps on your phone which will do this kind of thing, augmented reality, and how you can just like overlay something onto your kitchen.
The other thing that was really nice though was that it was a free roaming camera angle, so the guy with the camera was moving around the table, so you could really see it from the very. Because it would have been quite easy to do it as just like, oh, here's a locked off camera, but for them to do it with actually, they've got real confidence in the technology, and that made me very happy.
Yes, it was good.
That'll look awesome when it's out in the wild. Though. It's like, just go to someone's house and they're wearing it, just pouring at the table.
Yeah, it's true.
You don't know what they're doing.
We also had...
I don't think we want to know what they're doing if they're pouring at a table.
No. We also had Idea Xbox announcing early access for Idea Xbox games.
Yeah, what are they calling it? Xbox Game Preview.
Yeah.
Is what they're calling it. Because they couldn't call it early access.
Because Steam have got that, but it is basically early access.
Yeah, I think the one nice tweak with this is that all of the games have to have a 2-hour trial. Was it?
I didn't catch the amount of time. He did just say, but they definitely have to have a free trial. So maybe it is 2 hours. But yeah, it's really cool that they're doing that. It's just because there are so many games on Steam where you would feel a bit gypped because it's like, this is an early access, but guys, this is not actually playable. So doing this ensures that you are getting playable games. I think that's really cool. I think the Idea Xbox section actually was really good, apart from the one fact that for some reason indie developers not allowed to stand on the proper stages. Like they must be relegated to weird side stages that you didn't realize were stages until indie developers were standing on them.
Well, at least they didn't get crushed by a car.
That is true. Yeah, so that was Forza 6. We don't need to talk about Forza 6, except for the fact that they were like, all right, before we've had a car come up from underground, so this time we're fucking lowering it onto stage here. And then Henry Ford III is here to be like, yeah, Ford likes Forza, I guess, whatever.
Yeah. Next year they're just gonna drive it on stage.
It's just
at
fucking
like 60 miles an hour.
No, next year it's just going to be in HoloLens.
It was,
Ooh.
It was weird.
Magical.
It was a weird point. The Forza bit is always fucking weird whenever they do it.
Like Forza games, like car games in general, it's a very European market anyway. So when it comes to America, they sort of, I think they announced the Forza 6 at, I can't remember what car show it is. Is it Detroit? It must be Detroit.
Something
so that's
like that.
The heart of car manufacturing. So they announced Forza 6 there alongside this new Ford GT. And then basically it's just like, it's like a car game. Like the American audience isn't as heavily invested, so they're not really going to go into that much detail. And they didn't. They just went, oh, look, it's pretty. That was it.
Yeah, it was just weird. Other games. So let's move on to the games that were there. Halo 5 opened the show kind of as you would expect. Strong opening, looked cool. Gameplay demo looked a lot like Halo, but I think they went a smart direction by showing you, is his name Agent Locke?
Spartan Locke.
Yeah.
Spartan Locke.
Because he's a Spartan, it's not Agent. But
I think he's also an agent of some kind.
Of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Of ONU, the Office of Naval Intelligence. But yeah, it was smart to show you that side rather than the Master Chief stuff, because obviously we have seen the Master Chief stuff. It also seems like not multiplayer, but co-op is a lot more integral, as it kind of like Halo Reach. It seems like there are people doing the missions with you here.
Yeah, they already announced that it was always going to be, you've always got a fire team with you of 4.
Yeah, I just wonder who Master Chief is going to be, because he seems like he's a bit of an outcast.
They were named Blue Team.
Oh, it's Blue Team. Oh, that's like his main team. I know too much about Halo, but that's like his. Yeah. That's the team that he is a part of before like everything went to shit. Blue Team was his team, so that's cool. I thought this looked pretty cool. Like it looked like a Halo trailer. It kind of showed some new stuff. It showed that all the stuff from Halo 4 is also still there, and then extra stuff with the big Guardian thing.
Yeah, that thing looked mental. It's just like a crazy mega robot made out of floating bits or something.
Also,
Destiny.
The word Guardian seems to be very in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like because one of the idea Xbox games was like meet your Guardian, and then there's obviously all the Last Guardian rumors, and I don't know why the word Guardian is just hot right now.
Well, we joked about this on the pre-E3 show, didn't we? Like it's all exclusively announced by The Guardian.
Yeah, exactly.
Newspaper. Yeah.
Fallout 4, obviously the Bethesda stuff, which we're not going to talk about here, but Bethesda had a big gameplay demo of Fallout 4. They were at Microsoft as well, where they talked about the fact that the Xbox One is going to have modding cross-compatibility with the PC, which I think is the first time that we've Fallout 3 didn't have modding on consoles, right?
No.
So it's going to have modding. I didn't say it explicitly, but it sounds like exclusive to Xbox One.
It will be, because it's got to be linked through Windows 10, I guess.
Yeah, I'm guessing. But that's pretty awesome to have that.
Yeah, and it's going to have a digital copy of Fallout 3 included as well.
Oh, yeah, I missed that bit, but yes.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Yeah. Again, it's the same as like 6 Vegas and 6 Vegas 2. It's they can afford to just give that away, and it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
It's just cool to do. What else do we have? We had EA Access was stuff. Peter Moore came and was vaguely aggressive, as he always is. He just seems like quite a cross man. But he came and pimped EA Access, saying you should get it because you get games. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a free week.
So there's a free week
trial.
Free week for gold. If you're a gold member on Xbox One, you get a free week of EA Access where you get like he said it's like 16 games that are on there at the minute, I think. And then also Madden will be there when Madden comes out.
And then Dragon Age Inquisition this summer. Well, it is
yeah,
summer,
Dragon Age Inquisition
next month.
So Titanfall now, Dragon Age Inquisition soon, and then
Titanfall now sounds like an iOS game.
Yes, it does. And then you've also got like the whole. He was pimping the like because if you've got that, you get 10% off and the ability to buy Madden a week early or something.
Yeah. You get like trial version. Yeah. It's
I don't
like,
fucking.
6 hours trial.
It's something really weird. It's an odd scheme that EA have got running there.
But it's good.
It's
a really good scheme.
I can't remember how much it is per month, but you put that in, you get all of those games. So
yeah, I mean that's the upside.
30-40 quid a year, isn't it? So
yeah,
something like that. Yeah. It's like it's basically the PS Plus model, but I think the interesting thing is that like they keep adding games to the vault, they call it, as opposed to you having to add things each month as you go along, like you do in PS Plus.
Yeah,
so I like that. They're just like, here we got new stuff. Fucking here, take it. Jesus Christ!
Just throwing them at you.
Yeah.
I want them.
Well, again, it's the kind of, these games are now at the point where we can make money off them any possible way that we can. So, we're just going to have this crazy subscription scheme. If you play the games, great. If you don't play the games, don't. We're just taking money.
It does just seem a bit like, well, what the fuck are we going to do with these otherwise?
Yeah.
We've got these fucking gold discs sitting here. We might as well do something with them. He also announced Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2 with a CGI non-gameplay trailer, but it looked pretty cool. Like the CGI trailer for it was cool.
Lots of new plants and zombies.
Yeah, it made me want to play Garden Warfare more than the stuff from the original did, so that's cool.
Yeah, the first game is actually really, really fun.
I kind of heard it was really good, but this one looks like they've definitely expanded on it a lot.
Yeah. The nice thing with this is that didn't mention exclusivity at all. That's because it doesn't seem to be exclusive.
Which is
like
cool.
It says on the YouTube trailer, on the YouTube video for the trailer, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Spring 2016.
That's pretty much not exclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
If it says PS4 on there, you're like, that's pretty much
time exclusive, blah, blah, blah. We'll get to that in a second, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, we will, definitely. Before we get to that, though, there is Dark Souls 3, which was, although has basically been announced at this point, this was the official confirmation, I think.
The official confirmation, yeah. Because we've had leaks for the last week. Yeah. And now they've just gone, it's real, here it is, here's a trailer, and that's it.
Yeah, it's
nothing else.
You probably want to play this, right? Look, here's a gigantic guy. This guy looks pretty fucking huge.
This will be the first boss in the game.
Yeah. It was Dark Souls. I don't think we need to say anything about that.
No, one thing from the start of the show, which isn't on our little breakdown list, is Keiji Inafune.
Yeah.
And Recore, that game, which looks really quite adorable.
Oh yeah, that looks
really
cool.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's all like there's going to be some integral story, but basically, like the soul of the robot seems to be in these blue and red orbs.
Yeah.
And it looks like you're kind of building up a team of blue orb.
It was kind of neat. Yeah. Because there was
that touching bit with the robot dog.
Yeah,
dogs everywhere.
It starts with a little dog, but then towards the end, she seemed like the woman in it seems to be building some fuck off big robot with the blue orb in it, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, what were you talking about? Time exclusivity?
That was
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider. Exclusive to Xbox Holiday 2015. I
was like, what is that? A pause in between the two? Is that one sentence? And I just like the fact that when they put it on the screen, it was like Xbox exclusive, and then the little bar. What do you call that little bar? But you know what I mean, like a little divider sign.
The divide. Let's call it the divide.
The divide sign, and then
divide.
And then Holiday 2015. I was like, is that? So are those two separate elements, or?
Is that the... Yeah.
It's very ambiguous. Deliberately so as well. But I think the fact that it is ambiguous implies it's probably timed.
It'll be timed.
But
There's
it
no
might.
way they can...
But it might also. Yeah, but we keep hearing vague statements that it's not timed.
Yeah, we don't know what Microsoft have actually done. Have they helped develop it, or just paid a fuckload of money to Crystal and said, "We want your game with us for a while"?
Yeah, it's confused. Regardless, this looked good. It was the first gameplay trailer we've seen of Tomb Raider. It looked like the previous Tomb Raider looks, but shinier, I guess.
Yep.
Because of all the ice.
Apparently, yeah, it's true. Very icy. Lara
apparently
seems to
it can be quite sunny on the top of a mountain.
Oh, shut up. No, but the sun that's there doesn't look like kind of like Arctic sun or wherever the fuck she was. It looked like Caribbean sun.
Well, the thing about the top of the mountain is that you don't just have the sunlight from the sun, but it's also reflecting off all of the white snow.
I'm fine with that. Apart from that,
so
it was very
that generates a huge amount of like reflected light.
Which I'm fine with that, but the thing was, it looked very sunny and also very jungly at certain points.
Yeah, at that point, she also wasn't in full winter gear.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, do you go into this weird lost city and then you go inside a mountain, or is it going to take place over multiple places in the world, like old school Tomb Raider games, or what? Something.
Oh, she's obviously going to what was Drake looking for in Uncharted 2? Shangri-La.
Just going back, yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
You're going to Shangri-La.
But she clearly has not learned her lesson from the first Tomb Raider game.
Like sliding down.
The first Tomb Raider game didn't end well for her, looking for a lost city, and she's like, probably just go look for a fucking lost city again, right? I'm sure I'll be fine this time. Oh, I appear to be falling off an ice shelf.
Yeah. See, most people just go, you know what? I'm an architect. I might just go and work in a museum or something.
Yeah. Do you mean archaeologist?
Yes.
You said architect. I'm sure she's not an archaeologist. If she's an architect,
she can be an architect.
She is terrible at her job if she's an architect.
I'm an archaeologist.
But that was, that was.
She might retrain.
Weird. I don't know what was going on there. It was a weird trailer, but it looked fine, and it was like, here, it's lots of bits. Also, the bit they showed was the worst bit of the previous Tomb Raider game, which was basically the equivalent of the river sequence where you're just sliding down the river uncontrolled. It was that's like the worst bit of that game though. And they were like, this is the bit we're going to showcase. But I hated that bit. I hated it too.
Cinematic, isn't it?
It's not.
Stupid.
It's just fucking boring to play. Rare Collection. What is it called? Rare Replay, I think it's called.
Rare Replay.
So that looks really good. It's like 30 games for $30, 10,000 gamer score, because there are people who care about that apparently.
Yeah, there are. And it's out in August.
And it looks like it's basically all the games Rare made before they started being shit.
Well, the ones that they own the IP to, the ones that Microsoft can buy the IP.
But it's like it was quite a lot. It's like Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie. What else was
Bad Fur Day, Battletoads.
Yeah, it's everything.
Viva Pinata.
Yeah, everything that people are like, oh, Rare games. It's basically those. And then they also announced the new, what's it called, Sea of Thieves.
Which I think there's an old, ancient, 12 years old, which I remember it very fondly, 12 years old April Fool's joke from Bungie, where they announced a game called Pimps at Sea.
All right. I'd play that.
Which was like I googled it quickly just to double check it, but it was like meant to have the most complex economic system in any game ever, and all of this stuff. It was basically just like, it's just a stupid joke, but I kind of like the idea that Rare have gone, have we got any spare design documents we could borrow? And they just repurposed it for Sea of Thieves. It actually looks really quite cool.
Yeah, it does. It looks like it looks like Assassin's Creed 4 if you made it multiplayer and
kind of cel-shaded-y.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but by cel-shaded, by Rare, I just mean it looks bright and colourful and fun. But so they said they didn't say it's an MMO. They said it's like a shared world adventure was their wording, which is again ambiguous. What does that mean?
I mean, because basically you're a pirate and you get onto a pirate ship and then you head onto the sea, out to the ocean and the sea, and it kind of looked like wherever the character was looking, there was another person with a name above their head. So is it shared world adventure game? And like even on the other ships, I think they had names above their head.
People.
So I'm wondering.
So there's a lot of other people in the game.
How many people are in this shared world?
1 billion.
So that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be like a film. Was it gonna be like Titanfall? Not Titanfall. Like Destiny, where it's MMOE but not super MMOE. So
I think that's what they're getting at. It's not that you are inhabiting the same sea as every single other person in the game. It's that like you're going around and you might bump into other people,
which is basically how Destiny works, right? Like, yeah. So
yeah, pretty much.
But it looked pretty cool, and it did look, if you understand what I mean, very much like a Rare game.
Yes.
The water effects were absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they look beautiful.
And the ship battles looked really cool as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, really cool ship-to-ship combat. That looked awesome. The last game that was there that we want to discuss. So there was 2 Gears things. There's Gears of War Ultimate Collection, where
it's not a collection.
No,
it's just the first game.
Gears of War, sorry, edition, Ultimate Edition.
It's cool, yeah.
Gears of War Ultimate Edition. That's what I've actually got written down. Which is out on August 25th, and is the first Gears of War game. Only the first one, right? Not the 2 and 3.
Yeah, just the first.
And there's a beta coming or something
today.
It starts today. Yeah.
Okay, so and the other thing that I found amusing about this was they were like, "Hey, we're not going to charge you for games you already own, except we're going to remaster this one."
Well, if you want to play it in 1080p,
yeah, it's true. But it's like, just ignore this other thing we did. Yes, it's inconsistent. Shh. And the more interesting thing was the new Gears of War game, which is not called Gears of War. It appears to just be called Gears 4.
Yeah.
Yep. Gears for you.
Gears for you.
But
oh god.
Do we know anything about it? Like, it
seems to have a new protagonist.
A new protagonist.
Yes, new team.
It's
new team.
Given it's Gears 4, it sounds like it should be set after Gears of War 3, but it looked prequely to me.
It really did.
Because but maybe they're on a different planet or something.
But then, does that make sense with the canon? Because the locusts get off the planet, and then
it looks very. But the place they are clearly looks like it's been abandoned for a while as well.
Unless, some locusts survived.
So that's what I'm wondering. Is this like 100 years after the previous Gears of War game? So maybe that's what it is.
I don't think it'll be that far ahead.
But
I'd assume like some of the original characters will turn up.
Yeah, but also like the guys in this don't seem as used to combat as the people from the original Gears of War trilogy do.
Yeah.
So that's interesting as well.
It's like, don't touch it, so he touched it.
I fucking hated that.
That was so
why
dumb.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Because obviously he didn't want to have the flashlight anymore. Yeah, it was a very dark demo.
It was very dark, but it did look very Gears of War.
It was very Gears of War. Yeah.
But not in a negative way. It did look. No. It looked good. It just looked an awful lot like a Gears of War game, but also the enemies looked like new enemies. They didn't look like normal locust. So it's intriguing to see what the plot's going to be. But there's no anything date-wise announced on that, right?
Next year, holiday 2016.
So I've still got over a year yet.
So that,
were you paying any attention at all, Chris?
I was doing lots of stuff. I was writing down lots of things, taking notes. But yeah, that looked good. It was kind of
it was really dark.
But the way they announced it as well was like, oh, here's just something we've been working on. Like, which made it sound like just super casually. I guess we could make a new Gears of War game.
Yeah, I think
my spare time.
I think it was quite an oddly subdued way to finish the show.
Yeah, it's just like we've been working on this other game. I guess it's Gears of War, but not. We're not going to call it Gears of War. So, the Phil Spencer came back. Was like, hey, we've got the 5 games for holiday 2015.
So it's Halo 5,
Forza 6,
Tomb Raider, Forza 6.
Fable Legends.
Well, they had a trailer shown for that, but not much.
I'll find them because I had them in Slack. I wrote them down in Slack. The other thing we wanted to discuss was... Wait, I've got it here. Wait. I'm going to cut this bit out. Come on. Halo 5. Oh no, so they said 5, but it's actually 4 of them are only this holiday. So Halo 5, Forza 6, Tomb Raider, Fable Legends are this holiday, and the other one they had on the screen was Gears 4, but that's not this holiday.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's next year.
Yeah. But I guess maybe they were saying Gears of War Ultimate Edition. But even so, that's like 4 solid games for this holiday. I think that's a good selection. But the big one that we wanted to quickly touch on before we end... was 2 things. Quickly, Phil Spencer came out and said, we've also got this other shit at Gamescom. which I was so impressed by this conference. I'd forgotten, like, they'd said beforehand, hey, we're going to have Crackdown 3 and Scalebound. And then he also said
Quantum Break.
And then he said new IP as well. All are going to be at Gamescom, which, given that in the past Microsoft have not really given a shit about Gamescom, makes it sound like they've really invested in it this time. Which is
because
great.
Sony won't be there, so
yeah.
Well, I don't think it's directly because Sony won't be there, because these things have to have such a lead time. But it's a nice crossover point for Microsoft to be able to say, "Hey, we are just going all in on games." You would not believe. And like for Sony not to then be at Gamescom is a bit of a faux pas, maybe.
The other thing I really like with that though is I can't remember the last time we had people even really reference Gamescom at E3. But B, to go, and we've got all these other games that are going to be there. Like, that's really cool that they're keeping it in your mind, but also not saying we don't need to fit everything into E3 right now. E3 is shit that will be here in this holiday, and it implies that the games at Gamescom won't be here this holiday, but we still want to show them to you. And I think that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
But the big thing we wanted to say that is the thing that was missing, no Call of Duty for the first time I can remember. I cannot remember the last time there was not a Call of Duty game at a Microsoft press conference.
They're ditching it now.
So
ditching the partnership.
Call of Duty's dead.
Yeah,
it's going to be at Sony, one we would assume.
Yeah, money's better spent elsewhere instead of like exclusive map packs.
It is really. I think it's. I think for them, it's probably better spent on trying to bolster the system itself, and also it looks like they're both trying to bolster the idea of Xbox. It's obviously not expensive, but it just makes them look really good.
Yeah,
it'd be like, hey, we have all these cool little games as well that people want. That was what I was to hit up. Beyond Eyes was on Idea Xbox as well, which is a game that you and I have both played, Tef, and both really liked.
It does look absolutely lovely. It's just briefly, you play as a girl who's blind, and so on screen you immediately you kind of think, well, it's just going to be white or black or just like nothingness. But then
it kind of is nothingness.
To start off with, but then as your character in the game hears things and you hear them over the headphones as well, it sort of starts to colour things in, and so there's a lot of misdirection and stuff like that, and it's very cool. It's
just a really cool game. It was really nice to see it highlighted because it's a. I actually think all the games they picked for the Idea Xbox section that to really pick out, like Tacoma, which is from the guys who did make Gone Home, the Ashen game, Cuphead as well. Cuphead looked awesome, which is kind of like got a 1930s cartoon.
An incredible art style.
Yeah, it just looks brilliant.
Yeah,
but yeah, everything they pulled up there looked really, really cool. They did a great job, and given the shit they got because Sony was doing it so well, it's great to see them responding to it. There was a brilliant bit at the beginning where Phil Spencer said, "We have listened to your comments," which I thought was putting it quite politely.
All right, shut up. We get it.
Like,
yeah,
please stop shouting at us. We're so sorry. Right, that's good to it though. Anything else you want to touch on, or are we good?
No, I think that's it for Microsoft. That's it.
Yeah, it was. But I think that's one of the best Microsoft showings we've had in recent years. I think having Phil Spencer in charge is really starting to bear fruit now. Like, he knows what he is doing.
Yeah, he is good at fruit. He knows his fruit.
Great at fruit. No, but he knows what he's doing. There was no fucking stupid like TV partnership stuff this time.
No.
And the other thing that was great was just the brevity. It felt like EA kind of do it where it's just like bam, 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 here are games. You don't need here's like a 30-second intro to this game, cool trailer or gameplay, like one of the two.
Yeah. I think even the slow moments where you had like Peter Moore on stage saying, "Here's EA Access, by the way, EA Access. Oh, and you've got EA Access now, so why don't you try out EA Access?" Even that was just like a 4-minute interlude, really, in the middle of it, and even then he had to cap it off by saying, "Oh, and Plants vs Zombies: Garden Warfare 2."
Yeah, but that was the only bit. So. Yeah. But I was fine with it. It was a really good conference. Everything else was very fast paced, and I don't think you can necessarily blame Microsoft for Peter Moore being shit. I mean, he was on their stage, but don't let Peter Moore hear me say that. Break my fucking arm.
He's gonna listen to this podcast. You what?
Oh Jesus. I love you, Peter Moore. You're kind of amazing, but also absolutely terrifying. Right. Anyway, let's go wrap it up for this first podcast. Thank you all for listening. If you listen to a regular podcast, you can get in touch with us that way. But tweet us at TSA Podcast. You can get me on Twitter as How Pro. You can get Tef as Teflon. You can get Aran as Aran Suddy with 2 Ds, right?
2 Ds.
Yeah, 2 Ds
Yep.
and then an I, not a Y. We will be back soon with more podcasts. I think the next one will be Sony.
The next one, the next one.
Yeah, next
plan
one
is Sony.
Next
then
one's Sony, and then we've got third parties and Nintendo, but we might flip the ordering on that because we weren't going to do Nintendo, and then they were like, "Here's all this stuff." Like, fuck, we weren't expecting
they've announced
this.
so many things.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
That might be the longest podcast because they announced so many things and they haven't even got to the E3 thing yet.
Yeah,
it's going to be 2 hours of us just clicking through the internet, going, what was the other thing that they announced? Oh, damn it!
Jesus, it was fucking
2
weird.
hours of that. It's going to be fantastic.
We'll just have Blair talk for 2 hours.
I can't be on it. I don't think. I think we're going to get
Damn.
Dom knows about Nintendo stuff.
Okay, he can talk about it.
Dom's going to save us. Anyway, we're going to go because it's 35 minutes until EA starts, so we've got to go.
Yep.
But yeah, cheers for listening, and we'll be back soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.